Good day, welcome to today's recording. My name is Brian Cockell, and today we're going to be making all natural shampoo bars. And these shampoo bars have absolutely no synthetics in them, and I will be posting the ingredients list as we go through it. So no phthalates, no sulfates, no parabens, no coal tars, none of the nasty stuff. No synthetics, so absolutely wonderful shampoo bar. This is a picture of my wife's hair in the last number of months. It has grown 10 inches. It is thick, it is silky, it is healthy, it looks absolutely great, and that's a result of this shampoo. So if you would like to try it, go ahead and get the ingredients, follow along, and make yourself some all-natural shampoo. And absolutely spectacular. It's the best shampoo in the known universe and beyond. Absolutely great. If you do enjoy today's video, I do ask you to subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel, and that would help me out a lot, and I would really appreciate that. Also hit that like button, and if you don't like it, well, just kind of move on. And if you do hit that little bell, I'm also going to be posting videos on how to make all-natural deodorant, lip balms, linen sprays, all the products we make at Lifejevity Soap Company. And if you would like to try the shampoo without making it, we do sell it in Canada at lifejevitysoaps.ca, and that is our business. And you can find that on our website, which is listed here. You'll also find in the link below some videos on how to make all-natural soap, for example, how to make a recipe for soap, how to make a costing sheet to cost out your products if you are starting a business, and again, many more videos to come. So the subscriping would be very, very nice. Okay, so with that, let's get right into it and learn how to make all-natural shampoo bars. Okay, let's make some all-natural shampoo bars. So first thing we do, of course, is get all of our raw materials prepared. And I have them all set aside here. And I have my scale, which I have already tared, I've already made sure that it's weighing correctly. And then I'm going to tare my 8-liter measuring cup, and that's what we're going to use for the shampoo bars today. So these shampoo bars we're going to cook just like we do soap bars. The difference is there is a whole bunch of premium oils and other ingredients in the shampoo bar versus the soap, so it's very, very different. So no filler oils, no base oils, and no heavy oils like olive oil, for example. So we're only using premium oils, premium butters, and additives to make these shampoo bars. Now, because we're making them like soap, we are going to cook them in crock pots. Now, it's best, I'm going to cook 3 pots today. However, I'll only show you one, of course, for time, and we will do time-lapse to move through some of the slower stuff. So we're going to cook about 80 shampoo bars. That's a revenue of about $1,000, roughly. And it's going to take me about 2 hours to do this job. So I could cook 5 times today if I wanted to at 3 pots, which means I could create upwards of $5,000 in today's cook. All right. And the crock pots, you always want to try and use the same crock pots. However, I am trying a new one today, so we're going to run this baby. It's been running that for about a week now. I don't really like it, still like the original ones. However, I'm going to run it through a test with my shampoo bars. Now, shampoo bars, why do you want to make all-natural shampoo bars? Well, as we know, store-bought shampoo comes in, generally plastic containers usually, and that stuff's going to landfill. Plus, it's full of synthetics and carcinogens and just a whole bunch of nasty stuff. So, you've got your parabens and your sulfates and your coal tars and on and on and on and on and on. All stuff that's not good for you. So today, all natural, premium ingredients, and it's just going to make a spectacular shampoo bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up this measuring cup with the beginning of our raw materials and get those heated up, and I'll walk you through the process. Now, if you do, I'm not going to go and describe all the equipment I use and the reasons for it. I do have a prior video out that is how to make all-natural soap, and that just tells you, why I use glass measuring cups and stainless steel products and tables, all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in more of a detailed description of what I'm using and why, go ahead and watch that video. It's on my channel, and it's called How to Make All-Natural Soap. So today we're going to start with some coconut oil. So coconut oil, this is absolutely great for your hair. It's a very light oil. it healed, it can prevent dryness, flaky scalp, and dandruff, as well as split ends. So it's really good for split ends and hair breakage. For these reasons, coconut oil will make your hair look shinier, stronger, and longer. So when my wife's been using our shampoo bars for about 2 years now, and her hair is growing twice the rate it used to. It's full, it's thick, it's healthy, just absolutely spectacular. So these, excuse me, these shampoo bars are just absolutely wonderful for your scalp. So we're going to start with coconut oil, and I do have my recipe here. I will post that up on the screen as well, so you can have all the ingredients that I'm using. And these are the best shampoo bars in the known universe and beyond. So our coconut oil, we're going to put in 374 grams, so my scale is tiered, and we're going to start right with the coconut oil. I have pre-broken this, so it's not too hard to dig out. A lot of people ask me, why do you wear a fleece and get all bundled up for cooking? And I am in my fuzzy shirt and my fuzzy pants and my fleece on. That's because I keep my soap studio between 8 and 10 degrees, which it is right now, and that really keeps your oils preserved and helps them last a little longer. So it is kind of chilly in here, but just the way I like it. So it's a little cold. One thing I will mention is that you'll notice I don't have gloves on, and I don't like to work with gloves. I'm not touching the product, but I do isopro everything. So all of my utensils, tables, hands, spoons, measuring cups, they were all isoproed first. Okay, so there's the first ingredient. So rather than put this into our pot, I'm going to re-tare my scale and simply continue to fill up this measuring cup here. I just find that a little quicker. Just if you're going to do that, rather than put this ingredient in your pot and start again, you want to make sure you always re-tare your scale. So I'm tared back to 0 now, and of course when you finish with your products, you always want to put them back away where they go. Keep a nice clean work surface. And you will see me isoproing my hands every time I touch something, and that's to make sure there's no contaminants getting into our soap. So our next product that we're going to put in here is Aloe Butter. Now, Aloe Butter, this is absolutely spectacular for shampoo. It's a soft butter. It's made with aloe vera, obviously. It's soothing, it's moisturizing, it's repairing. It protects both the scalp and the hair. Aloe Butter can help moisturize, condition, repair dry, damaged, brittle hair, and split ends, as well as soothe dry and irritated scalp problems, so including dandruff. So we want to make sure we have that covered. And I always do mark off my recipe once I put an ingredient in. So I have my coconut oil in, and now I'm going to go ahead and put in 374 grams of aloe vera butter. And there we go, aloe vera butter's in. Next thing we're going to put in here is our coconut butter. Now coconut butter is hydrating, it has emollient properties, it helps to deeply nourish hair and the shafts and condition them. It leaves the hair silky smooth, less frizzy, much easier to manage and comb out, so all of these great things. And customers that use our shampoo bars tell us that they don't need to use conditioner once they use them. So this is one of the reasons, is because of the cocoa butter. Now the cocoa butter, we're going to put in 267 grams, okay, of coconut butter. And just use crude coconut butter. It's healthy, it smells just absolutely wonderful. You can smell that from here. It's like, oh my goodness, that smells good. And then we want 267 grams. Now we'll get down to the end here. Absolutely wonderful smelling. And just a reminder, every time you put a new product in, don't forget to tare your scale. And that's probably the biggest error most people make when they're making their all-natural soaps and shampoos. 266. 267. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so those are all of our hard butters that we're putting into our shampoo bar. So I'll go ahead and give this a scratch here. And now we're going to get into our more liquid oils. Now, liquid oils, we're going to put 3 of those in. The first one's going to be apricot kernel oil. So apricot kernel oil reduces excess dryness of your scalp, and it promotes hair growth and strength. So it maintains a healthy hair, and it prevents your hair from failing and falling. It's just a wonderful natural conditioner. It's absolutely spectacular. So it's one of the best oils that you can choose for your all-natural. So apricot kernel. Now, when you're using your regular shampoos, things happen with your hair follicles, and I'm going to put 338 grams of apricot kernel in here. So when you're using that synthetic junk, what happens to your hair follicles is one of 2 things happen. Is they either shut down and say, look, I don't like this stuff you're putting on my head, and I'm going to go ahead and shut down, and that causes the hair to go dry because it's not releasing the natural oils. So if you have dry hair, it's most likely from the synthetic junk that you're putting on there. So your hair follicles don't like that. Another group of people, what will happen is the hair follicles will say, oh my goodness, you're trying to put all this junk into me, and I'm going to try and clean that junk out. So what will happen is your hair follicles will start to produce excess oil to try and clean themselves out, and that oil is what gives you oily hair. So the conditions of oily hair or the conditions of dry hair are generally caused from the junk that you're putting on your head, all that synthetic junk. So you want to try, obviously, and avoid that. And it's, when you go to a natural shampoo, it takes your hair, it's usually, I don't know, it's 2 to 4 weeks, I'm going to say, for your hair follicles to realize that, now you're treating them properly and to kind of normalize. So, reports we've had from our customers and from personal experience is that, after, I'll say 2 to 4 weeks of using an all-natural shampoo, your hair follicles become healthy. They produce healthier hair. They're not producing excess oil, or they're not shutting down and drying your hair out. So, you'll find a spectacular difference in that, kind of 2 to 4 week period. And then from that point forward, it's also great, especially with these premium oils and butters we're using, for anybody with dandruff conditions, or dry scalp conditions, or flaky skin conditions. It really, really settles all that kind of stuff. You're going to be quite surprised. Next, we're going to put castor oil in. We're going to put 320 grams of this in. And castor oil is one of those kind of miracle oils. It's the only oil or butter you can find with what's called ricinoleic oil in it. And the castor oil is going to help give us our lather. So this natural shampoo will lather more than anything you can ever buy in a bottle. And the more you put on, the more lather you have. It is quite spectacular. So obviously castor oil is an age-old remedy. It's been around forever. But it moisturizes the scalp. It eases dandruff. It leaves your hair smooth and shiny. It's just absolutely spectacular. So we put a little more of this in than we do into a bar soap. Actually, quite a bit more. We're going to put 320 grams in. So I've tiered my scale. So I always take my Kleenex to pick up drips. And I'm going to put in 320 grams of castor oil. A little thicker oil, but not heavy. There's a difference between thick and heavy. Now I make 2 sizes of bars. I make 140 gram bars, and I make 90 gram bars. So with today's cook and with the ratio of different size bars I'm going to make, as I said, I'm going to make about 80 bars. Sorry, watching my numbers here. And a 140 gram bar cost me about $4 to make. So it's a lot more expensive than soap, but the reason being is that we're using all of these premium oils and butters, and they're certainly way more expensive than, say, an olive oil or palm oil or something like that, but well worth the cost for the result. And then we sell our shampoo bars for $12, so still pretty good profit in there. And then there we go, 320. And these shampoo bars, 140 gram bar of a shampoo bar is going to last you about 4 regular bottles that you get from a grocery store. So, you know, I found that, I mean, depending on how much lather you want and how, you know, how long you will, you know, wash your hair with your soap, you can get upwards of 100 washes with 140 gram shampoo bars. So, you know, it's you know, it might sound expensive to, you know, pay $12 for a shampoo bar, but if it's lasting 4 times as long as you know, a bottle of shampoo, or equivalent to 4 bottles of shampoo, you can't go wrong in the price either. All right. Last oil we're going to put in here is Argan Oil, and obviously famous for hair products, for shampoos. I don't have to tell you about Argan Oil. It is simply the best oil ever you can put into a shampoo bar. So I'm going to put 107 grams of Argan Oil in, and this is also our most expensive oil that we're putting in here. So it's pretty hefty. I think I pay about $80 ish for this jug of oil, but this just tops off our recipe. It's absolutely spectacular. So 107 grams, in it goes. Perfect. Okay, so that looks absolutely wonderful. All right, so now we've measured all of our original ingredients. We're going to add a whole bunch of additives, but what we're going to do now is we're going to take this over, we're going to put it in our crock pot, and we're going to start the heating process. Okay, so that's the next process. We're going to do that right now. All of our raw materials are in. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, so we brought our ingredients over to our crock pot. Now you do want to try and use the same crock pots if you can, because if you're cooking, you know, I can cook up to 8 different crock pots at once. And when it comes time for cleanup, once you clean your pots and, you know, everything's all sparkly again, generally you'll probably do that in you know, a place where you have a sink and, you know, some running water and that kind of stuff. When it comes time to reassembling your pots, you know, if you have 5 or 6 different types of crock pots, you can be guessing what bowl goes in what pot, and it just becomes a real hassle. So it's always nice to have the same manufacturing and same model number of your crock pots. That's number one. And number two is that each crock pot make or type or size, depending on how many watts it is and how many liters it is going to cook at a different rate. So you want to have your soap or your shampoo or whatever you're making all cook evenly at the same time. So that's you know, the second reason why you want to have the same type of crock pots. And silicone spatula, glass container, I find that way you can get every drop out of your container. And you want to always measure your ingredients for shampoo bars by weight, never by volume. Okay, so that's ready to go. So I've already gone ahead and filled up my other 2 pots. We're going to clean up everything, and now turn your pots on. Don't forget to turn the pot on. I've done that a few times, and I cook this on low. So you don't want to cook it too fast. You want to gently heat it, and you want to bring it to between 110 and 130 degrees. All right. So if you have these over 130 degrees, when you mix your lye in with them, it'll volcano up and over. So 110 to 130 degrees is the magic temperature. All right. So what we're going to do next is we're going to let these heat up. We're going to prepare our surfactants, and we'll go over that next. And that's where it really starts to get unique compared to making you know, a soap. So obviously premium oils, premium butters, but we're going to put a surfactant in here, and I'll describe that in a sec. So I'll just get my lids on here and we'll go. Okay, we'll let that heat up to its 110 to 130 degrees. I do like the snap down lids. I think it keeps a better seal. Technically they're made to transport stuff, but I do like them. Got a little vent hole in here, so I do use the lids snap down to heat them up. Alright, let's go to our next step. Okay, next step. So our oils and butters are heating up. So next we're going to prepare our water and lye solution. So just like soap, we're going to use water and lye. Now when you mix the water and lye solution together, it's going to heat up to about 200-ish degrees. So when our oil mixture hits about 90 to 100 degrees, I'm going to mix the oil or the water and the lye together, and then that's going to cool off as the soaps, the oils are finishing their cool off, And then they'll both be about, I'd like to do it about 110 to 115 degrees, mix them together and bring it to what's called saponification. And saponification is when your water lye mixture mixes with your oils, it consumes all the lye and literally turns it into our shampoo. All right, so we're going to put in 582 grams of water. So we'll put our scale on, tare it, and then we're going to set this aside and wait for our oils to get to that 90 to 100 degrees. So there we go. And 582 grams of water. And again, you always want to mix your ingredients by weight, not by volume. Okay, 582 grams of water. Alright, now we're going to prepare the rest of our ingredients, and this is where we take a drastic turn for making soap. So we're going to start adding products into, adding products, or getting products ready to add into our oil mixture that are going to turn it into the spectacular shampoo that it is. So the first thing we're going to prepare is something called a glucoside. So we're going to use 2 of them. Now, what a glucoside is it's glucoside is it breaks surface tension in liquids, and that's really what gives us shampoo versus soap. So it allows the hair to become clean. It works as a surfactant, a foaming agent, a conditioning agent, an emulsifier. It's kind of used in place of the toxic surfactants that are in traditional shampoos. It has an ability to smooth out the hair structure and kind of increase manageability. So I use 2 of them. So there's cocoa glucoside and there's decyl glucoside. Now these are all natural ingredients and they're plant-based. I've tried using just cocoa. I've tried using just decyl, excuse me. However, I found that mixing them together in equal portions gives me the best lather and the best shampoo. So I'm going to put 64 grams of each one in for a total of 128 grams. And then we're going to set that aside because you don't want to mix this when you mix your lye and water in, or you'll never be able to get it to trace. Alright, so once we bring our shampoo to trace, then we're going to mix our cocoa and decyl glucoside with it. So let's go for 64 grams of each. Okay, here's our cocoa glucoside, and again this is a surfactant. And there's our decyl glucoside. Alright, we're going to set these aside and mix them in when the time comes. Alright, now the next thing that we're going to prepare is, we're making 2 types of shampoo bars here today. I'm making patchouli shampoo bars, and I'm making geranium shampoo bars. Right? So once we have our soap or our shampoo brought to trace, and once we have our glucosides in there, we're going to let that cook for about an hour and a half, and then we're going to add in our essential oil, which gives us our scent, our patchouli and our geranium, but we also add another ingredient to our shampoo, and the ingredient we add is 2 types of silk powder, and I'll use a smaller scale to measure this out. So what we have is we have silk powder at a 200 mesh. I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to put that in, and then we're going to put in as well a silk powder that is hydrolyzed silk, it's called, which is this one here. And what that does is it's like no other protein. The hydrolyzed silk protein improves the shine of the hair. It adds to its elasticity of the hair, and it prevents breakage and helps the hair retain moisture for longer periods of time. Now the 200 mesh silk powder kind of sits on top of the hair, and the silk, hydrolyzed silk, actually absorbs into the strand of the hair. Right? So we're going to put 8 grams of each in here, and it also helps with comb out, manageability, and gives the hair a nice sheen and shine, which everybody wants. So this is absolutely spectacular product for your shampoo. So I put a little scale on, and this scale here measures to 1/10 of a gram, whereas the larger one I was using measures to 1 gram. So that's why I used a smaller scale to make sure we're getting this right. And this again is a little on the steep side when it comes to paying for it, but it's well worth what you end up with. And we want 8 grams. Went a little too heavy there. Okay. So that's our hydrolyzed silk, and we're going to put in 8 grams of our powdered silk. Now, we don't want our silk reacting at all to lye, so what we do with the silk is we're actually going to mix it at the very end with our essential oils, and then we're going to add the silk, and I'm going to take this to 16 grams for a total of 8 grams of each. So we'll mix our silk powder with our essential oils just before we scent our shampoo at the very end and set it aside for curing. So that's how we're going to deal with that. Perfect. Okay, so I do that 3 times, and then I'm going to mix my lye and water solution together, and then the next step we're going to take is bring our shampoo bars to trace. So we'll be back to do that in a second. Okay, our lye solution. So what I've done is I've mixed our water with our lye. So I mixed the lye into the water, never the opposite way around, or you could get what's called a volcano. That, of course, would be dangerous. When you're dealing with your lye, you always want to wear your safety gear now. So I do have long sleeves on, I have long pants on, I have closed-toed shoes on. I am putting on my safety gloves. Okay, so I got my rubber gloves on, and then I'm also going to wear a face shield. So you want to wear a face shield when you're mixing your lye. So I'm going to put my face shield on, and then we're going to mix with a stick blender. It's best to use one that has ridges on the bottom, and it doesn't get caught to the bottom of the pot. Alright, this one I think is about 250 watts, so it's a good size, 2 speeds. And what you want to do is when you pour your lye in, you want to pour it onto your stick blender so it doesn't splash at all. And then we're going to bring this mixture to trace. And what that means is that the lye water is going to saponify with the oils, and saponification is really, oils are called triglycerides, which means they're a 3-chain fatty acid. So what you'd picture is a capital letter E. What's going to happen is the glycerin in your oils is going to separate from your fatty acids. The lye causes that to happen. It consumes the lye, and then you're left with saponified oils with no lye left in it, and that's what your shampoo is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring this to trace, and how we know when it's at trace is that when you lift your stick blender out of the solution, it'll leave a thick ridge without going back into the solution. So you'll see a ridge on it, so I'll know it's at trace. Once I finish it and getting it to trace, I'm then going to mix in my cocoa and decal glucosides. You don't want to mix this in before you hit trace, or you'll never hit trace. It'll take you hours to hit trace. And I learned that the hard way. And just confirm, my oils are now at 115 degrees, and my lye is at 117 degrees. So that's perfect. I want to be within 110 and 130. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're over 130, this could boil up and over the pot, and you don't want that to happen. Okay? So make sure your pot's on. I cook it on low, and I'm going to now bring this shampoo to trace. It'll be a little noisy. Okay, I have that at a really nice thick trace now. And when you're cooking shampoo, you do want a thick trace, because when you put your glucosides in, it's going to thin back out. Okay, so now that I'm at a good thick trace, I'm going to go ahead and put in my cocoa and decal glucosides. And then once your glucosides are in, you want to mix that in with your stick blender. once that's mixed in, I like to scrape my sides just to make sure nothing's burning on the sides. Your crock pot will cook from the outside in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this cook for about an hour and a half. After 1 hour, I'm going to stir it and then let it cook for another half an hour. Our shampoo will be done at that point. And then once it's done, we're going to take it off of its pot here, and we're going to mix in our silk and our essential oils, and then mold it. Now, if you are interested in, if you're interested in starting a soap making business, or just want to learn how to make soap and all of these steps that go into that, and make shampoo bars and how to actually make a business out of it, I have written my first book, and it is called So You Want to Be a Soap Maker. So if you did want to learn all about running a soap business and how to set a soap business up, and you can make, of course, soaps and shampoos and hand creams and lip balms and deodorants and linen sprays and all that kind of stuff. That book will help you out. You can get that on Amazon by either searching my name, and it's under $10 for the electronic copy, or I have a link below the video as well. You can click that link and that'll take you to it. I did put this saran wrap on here because I prefer this now rather than the lid. I like to be able to see what's happening with the cook, and what will happen is it'll start to curl up from the edges and into the center. After the hour, I'll stir that in, and then it'll get a nice dark line right down the middle, and that's how you know it's done, right? And it's going to take about an hour and a half on low, so we're going to leave that, let it cook, and I'll time-lapse the video, of course, and then we will be back to see what our shampoo looks like and to put it into some molds. All right, so let's go to the next step in a second here. Okay, our pot has reached now 140 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix in our essential oil, and in this one's going to be patchouli shampoo bar. So what we have is we have 35 grams of patchouli and 15 grams of benzoin, and we're simply going to make a nice little hole. And oh, forgot to mix our silk in. We're going to put our silk in there. Those are those two types of silk we talked about earlier. That's going to give your hair sheen and shine and help with comb out. And with this shampoo, you won't need conditioner because of all these fancy products we're putting in here. So if you did like today's video, consider subscribing to the channel. I do have videos up on how to make all natural soap and how to make costing sheets for your products with Excel, beginner's Excel's tutorial, and how to make a recipe. And coming shortly are videos on how to make deodorant and lip balms and linen sprays and hand creams and face creams. So consider joining the channel. And when those videos are up, if you hit that little bell, they'll give you notification of it. But we certainly would appreciate if you hit that like button, because that helps me out and get my video out to other folks. So if you did enjoy it, that would be absolutely spectacular. Also consider looking at the soap book that I made, How to Start a Soap Business. And you'll find the link for that down below along with the other videos. And I think you would enjoy that if your goal is to start a soap business or just learn how to make all natural products. So I mixed that in there, and we're going to mix this up really good. And that smells absolutely wonderful. And this shampoo will give you more lather than your traditional shampoos, and a bar will last about 4 times as long. So you're good for about between 80 and 100 shampoos with a 140 gram bar. So that's what our first shampoo, and now we're going to mold it. Now I do put it in different size molds, so I'm going to go ahead and do one just to show you how I do that. Now I certainly could be using a loaf mold for this. That's what a loaf mold looks like, but because I do make different sizes of shampoo bars, I like to mold them individually in silicone molds. So I'm using a 140 gram 4-bar mold here. Some of it's going to go into that, and I sell those on my website at lifejevitysoaps.ca. And then I also sell on Amazon, and they get a smaller bar, which is 90 grams, and they get that smaller mold there. So I'm just going to mold one up, show you how we do that, which is very simple. Now when you're molding in silicone, you always want to push it into the sides, because you'll get bubbles in it if you don't. And then once that's in there, you put a little scoop right in the center, level that off, and that is good to go. So I'm going to fill all the molds up like that, make a whole bunch of shampoo bars. I won't make you watch that. I'll speed through on the time lapse on the video, and then show you what all the bars look like finished, and talk about how we wrap them up. Alright, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've let these shampoo bars set up overnight, so I filled up all my molds. I'll just show you one of them. So there's 4 140 gram shampoo bars in there. Look a little messy right now, so what I do is I take a 6-inch putty knife, right, and I simply trim the tops off, which is a real easy process. It's just straight across, just like so. And I do that with each of these 4 molds, and of course all my other molds. And by the time I finish this cook today, between my 140 gram and my 90 gram bars, I'll have about 80 bars in total from this cook, is what it'll work out to, with the ratio of 140 bars to the smaller bars that I'm doing. And then this stuff I'm cutting off is beautiful shampoo. I simply put that into this Ziploc, large Ziploc sandwich bag, and I will take that, once it's full, to the microwave, and I'll heat that for about 2 shots of 1 minute. And then when I touch the soap, I like to ISO my hands. I like to do this job without gloves on, just because it's easier, so I always make sure my hands are washed and ISO'd. Flip my mold over, and now these should come out as absolutely beautiful shampoo bars. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. And there is 4. Now I just give these a quick little cleanup, just like so. And there you have it. One absolutely beautiful 140 gram patchouli shampoo bar. And said that'll last you between 80 and 100 shampoos. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of the molds I have. And then I'll give you a quick shot of what that looks like when I'm all finished. And then that is how we make all natural patchouli shampoo bars.